there's something about it always being there that really resonated with me when I read that sentence. It reminded me of a conversation I had with my buddy Franz. If you're watching, Franz, hi, I love you. And we've been having this conversation about the illusory nature of the self and money and success and making money and having success. And it's one thing to see that there is no me. There's no me. That it's like identity is a creation of thought. There is no me that's in charge of this, any of this, that's in control of any of it. Life's happening. I'm being lived by life. And then the narrator is, piping up every now and again and going, oh, I did that. And none of us really need to look very far to see that in moments of creation, in moments of flow, when we're doing something that we really love, whether that's writing or crafting or sport or music or anything like that, we're not there. Like our notion of self isn't even there. And yet look at what's happening. Look at what's being created. It's not, that notion of self isn't necessary for life, for stuff to happen. So it's one thing to see that. It's another thing to see that when things do happen, when money does arrive, when business does thrive, when success is achieved, that's not happening for me or to me. Again, because that notion of me is just a notion, it's just a thought. And to see that side of the equation, I just found hugely liberating, and it reminded me of when I read that sentence. You develop a trust or confidence, and you begin to notice that the wisdom, so the thriving aspect of life, the creative aspect of life, the abundance of life is always there, no matter what. And when I saw that, oh yeah, when I achieve success in my business, firstly, that's not something that I've done. Secondly, it's not like the universe is looking down on Giles and going, okay, he's got out of his way now, he's not up in his head about stuff. We're going to give him that. Because that's just a story too, that's just a creation of thought. And I couldn't help thinking about a little bird getting a worm. And that bird probably doesn't have a whole load of oh right, I'm going to get out of my way and I'm going to stop overthinking this and therefore the universe is abundant and a worm is going to come into my life. So I'm sure it doesn't think that. And also, when it gets a worm, I'm pretty sure that it doesn't, that it doesn't kind of like take ownership of that. Oh look, the universe has provided this worm for me. Because none of it belongs to us. That abundance, that thriving aspect, that creative aspect of this thing that we call life doesn't belong to us. We can't be separate from it. We're just one with it. We can't be separate from the abundance of of life. And for me, that puts a very different spin on money. It's one I find quite hard to articulate. Apologies. But there's something in the feeling of that Giles isn't doing it. And Giles is also not the receiver of it. That I'm just experiencing the abundance of life. And then there just happens to be a commentary about it that's just like static on the line, that's white noise, that's creating a whole bunch of meaning where there is no meaning. And I think I stopped worrying about money after that really landed for me.